Recording. Awesome. All right. This is our first little show. We're starting this channel on YouTube, Saturday Sippin'. Thanks for anybody who's watching. Just because our anyway, we're doing this, and I'm gonna call it the whiskey one take. We're just gonna go kind of talk about where we started down this whiskey problem or fascination. It's not a problem yet.
It's past the problem. It's become a sickness.
But just how we got kind of started and where we're going with it, and we're still friends, even though it's about alcohol. We just want to sit and talk about, and we're going to just kind of introduce ourselves and our first trip to the whiskey. What is it? The Whiskey Trail in Kentucky. We started that a few years back. My name's Matt. This is Ray. We've been friends since high school. That's old. And I don't know, 6 years ago, I tried something other than Jack and Jim. And now we have selections that are really good. Anyway, so Ray, I don't know, I tried something else. I don't remember what it was. But Ray at the time tried Maker's Mark. What were we doing? Not sleeping?
Yeah. So during the pandemic, well, I don't sleep much at all. I don't sleep much at all, period. But during the pandemic, I was looking for something to do, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna learn about bourbon and whiskey. And one of the first sites I landed on was Maker's Mark, and they had a test to become an ambassador, which I thought was interesting. So I took the test and passed it. And for those of you that don't know what the ambassadorship is once you become an ambassador, they put your name on a nameplate with, I believe it's 20 other people. Then they put that nameplate on a barrel, and then they age that barrel. And then when that barrel gets to the proper age, they send everybody that's on that nameplate a little golden ticket. It's like the candy guy, Willy Wonka. And then once you get your golden ticket, then you can go out and then they'll do a private tasting and walkthrough of the distillery, and
we'll be there.
And you can bring a friend, so we'll be there, and then you can buy up to like seven. I think it's up to 7 bottles of the bourbon that comes out of the barrel with your nameplate on it. And one of the cool things is they send you a certificate, and they send you a picture of the nameplate on your barrel. And I am unprepared; otherwise, I would have had it with me today.
But that's what he told me about it. And then I said, well, we should go visit your barrel. And the wife was like, trip? So she helped us plan it. I went down the YouTube rabbit hole trying to figure out all this stuff learning about it too. And I learned about Bardstown, Kentucky. And well, I'm a kind of a food guy too. I don't know if you can tell. But I found this Mammy's Kitchen. And I'm like, we're going there. So I got a VRBO. I found a cute little cottage. What was the name of the cottage thing?
Pioneer Park Cottage.
Pioneer Park Cottage. Look that up on VRBO. If it's your first trip with just a couple people, stay there. It's within walking distance of so many things. Yeah, it's just a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but it was really cool. Little front porch that we sat out at the end of the day, sipping some whiskey, smoking some cigars, and just it was walking distance to Mammy's and the Whiskey Museum and what was the other place we ate at? The Bardstown Burger. You have to go to Bardstown Burger. You have to go to Mammy's Kitchen. Plain and simple. You have to have a Kentucky hot brown.
They had a speakeasy that we went to as well. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, they changed.
You had to guess.
Yeah, you had to answer a question to get in the door. It was really cool. We were right next to Toddy's liquor store, which is an Uncle Toddy Beam. We learned that when we went to Limestone Branch, and it was just such a fun trip. And I'll tell you, even if you don't like whiskey, if your wives are like don't like it, the wife loves going just because of the nature, the history of all the places. the beautiful pictures. This one behind us is, what was this one? That's not Makers. I don't know what that one is, but that's from one of our pictures, isn't it?
No.
No?
It looks like one of my pictures.
It
yes,
looks like
but
we got plenty of pictures. They will be up. But that's just our story. So we just wanted to kind of go through
our first trip.
our first trip and the places we went on our first trip, and it just started us, on this love of whiskey and bourbon and learning about it more and more, and of course drinking it. Where do we want to start? Where
Well,
our
the
first
places you went.
our first place we went, what or
Just
what?
any of them.
Willet
Anyone?
was the first place we went.
Willet. Do we want to start with that one?
Yeah.
It's a strong one.
Let's start with Willet. What's
So we
that?
went to Willet, and I tried Noah's Mill on there. Was like afterwards says, "Oh, you guys want to try this? It's an extra." And this is the first one that I tried that was over 100 proof. That it's just good. I like it, and I always thought before then, the higher the proof, the more. Hold on. The higher the proof, the stronger it is, and that's just not true for my palate. So we're just gonna have a sip while we talk about it.
One thing you will notice as we continue on with this channel, our palates are completely different. We will not agree on a lot, but that's okay because it'll give everybody that's wondering about it a chance to hear about it from two different palate types.
I need to get some pours. Anybody know where we can get some good pours to do that? But it's a very good tour. I don't remember the name of our guide, but she was awesome. Also, we had our designated driver, my wife, who doesn't drink there, and they're the only place we went to, everybody listening, that gave her, the non-drinker, a mocktail. We're all getting to drink something we love. She don't like it. They gave her a mocktail, and that was really cool. And the history of it, and I don't know. I don't have the words. It'll come to me later. But the Noah's Mill was the first one over 100 that's where I learned that don't make any difference. It does on the buzz factor, but not the taste. You can get a low proof that tastes good. You can get a high proof that doesn't.
So what's the smell that you guys smell?
I get a little bit of citrus, maybe some honey.
I get orange. Almost everything I get cinnamon. That's me, but cinnamon and I get the oak and orange.
Yeah, you can get it's smoky, but citrus and honey.
Mm. That's a lot of.
Different?
Really smooth.
See, he says really smooth. I'm like, it's really peppery.
It is peppery because you feel it on the back of your tongue, but really smooth going down.
But it's not.
Very light. Very light.
It's not eye twitching.
Very light Kentucky hug.
Yeah.
But I pick up, now that I'm drinking it, I pick up more of a pear. I get pear and honey. I get pear and honey.
I do not. I get, I'm going to have another glass, but I'm not, I guess I'm not sophisticated. I'm not sophisticated.
Well, that's the beautiful part. Everybody's different. You're gonna taste things that I'm not gonna taste because you're growing up. You ate different spices than I ate, so the different spices and the different notes you correlate to what you know.
And for those that don't know, what's a Kentucky hug?
Well, that's what everybody non-believers call the burn. It's down here. No, that's the sweet Kentucky hug is what that is. Now the second taste, I got more caramel on the second one, but that's almost on everything.
No, I agree with you on the second taste. Sorry, I swallowed wrong.
It's smooth, he says.
I was trying to swirl it around in my mouth and swallow it wrong. swallowed wrong.
It's smooth, he says. No.
But yeah, I get caramel on the back end on the second drink. I may have to edit that one out.
No, this is a whiskey one take. We're drinking these, and what's coming up is what's coming up.
All right, so
next we can edit some other
so
stuff.
pro tip: don't swirl it around in your mouth and then try to drink it.
Just enjoy it. But yes, that'll be my third bottle of that since the trip.
Which was in 2021.
2021 was our first trip to Kentucky. And we try to go every 2 years. And so far this year will be another trip. So we'll take you along for that one. Share some other pictures in that. So after Willett,
Was it Maker's Mark?
I think we went to Maker's Mark that day.
Yeah, we did go to Maker's Mark that day.
All right, so that one's done. Can't mix.
So the cool thing about Maker's Mark that people don't know is in their gift shop, they'll sell a bottle of something that they don't release to the public. Like our first trip, I got a bottle of what they called toasted marshmallow, which was really good. If my son was here, he could contest to it. He drank most of that bottle. And then on our last trip, they didn't have the toasted marshmallow. They had one called kettle corn. But the other thing that they're doing now too is they're releasing a lot of different wood finishings. So they'll play around with their staves. So they'll take their bourbon, their base bourbon, which is this guy, and then once they barrel it, they'll put different staves in it, and that will change the flavor profile. So Maker's Mark's one of my favorites. As you can see here during the tasting, it will not be one of Matt's favorites.
I don't know. It's just something like, because what is the proof on this regular one? 45 alcohol. So what? Only
it's like 92.
So, but still, it's, I don't know. It's very harsh on the palate to me. That's where he goes, oh, it's smooth. I'm like, you lie.
Here's the other thing. I have to jump in. Being the wife and the designated driver and all these.
Well, put yourself on the camera then.
No,
another day. Maker's Mark has got to be one of the most beautiful landscape distilleries I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've probably got 150, 200 pictures of just their landscape and their buildings. It is gorgeous. We've always gone in the fall. I don't know what it looks like not in the fall, but the fall is beautiful with all different colors.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing is, too, that I thought was very interesting with Maker's Mark is that they're still using the same printing, the old style printing machine to make the labels for Maker's Mark.
And the Cypress mash bill.
The same.
Their mash bill holders made out of Cypress. They're still using those. Those are original as well.
Yeah, so even if you don't like bourbon, I would highly recommend at least going to check out their landscape. It is beautiful.
Just walk the grounds.
Walk around the grounds. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. I will do a short video and just do each one of these things. Maker's Mark, and just do pictures. Yeah, we'll go that. I planned the trip in October because I knew that the leaves would be changing, and we go try to go in the fall.
We don't see any of the dirt around.
That's the one thing we probably should have said. We're based out of Las Vegas.
There you go.
Me, I was born and raised. I'm not sure when you moved here.
Freshman year of high school.
Second quarter freshman year. That's when I moved here.
And you're originally from?
Minnesota. Minnesota, eh? So, yeah, we like the weather here because the snow looks really pretty from the top of the mountain. You don't have to shovel out of the garage. But, yeah, so when you go to Kentucky from here, it's a different kind of beautiful, and the amount of green that's there is just, and all the fall colors. I highly recommend going in the fall, 100%, anytime in October. We went Halloween, and our little place we stayed, we're sitting out here having our evening bourbon, smoking a cigar, and the wife's like, it's such a pretty park over there. I went, that's not a park. That's a cemetery. So we're right across the street from a cemetery
So
on
that worked out
Halloween.
well.
It was really old.
It was really cool, man. Such a fun trip. Just for travel, go there and check it out. Travel and food, and if you like this, it's even better. So Maker's Mark. Let's see if my palate has changed in the 6 years down this road of probably not.
Okay, what's the smell?
See, it's really light
It's sweet.
smelling.
I got a sweet corn.
Yeah, I get corn and orange peel. It's weird, but
Even the orange.
I
think you got orange stuck in your nose.
don't know. I'll blow it next time.
That's really light. It's smooth. Not a lot of burn on the tongue. It is sweet, and I get a heavy corn up front, but as it mellows out, it goes more citrus. Can't put my finger on it.
See, I'm sweet, but very sharp on the tongue. It's very, and that's probably what I don't like. I like ryes, and they're supposed to be really sharp on the tongue. Well, I'm not that bright, but it's just very sharp on the tongue, and then yeah, lots of citrus.
And for all of you out there that are gonna be whiskey trolls and haters, we really don't care. We don't claim to be we don't claim to be
We are
bourbon
not
experts.
professionals.
We just put this together, trying to do something a little different than most bourbon channels. Most bourbon channels, when you have two different hosts, it seems like everybody agrees with each other. We don't agree, and you'll see that as we continue on.
Nope, I still don't like it.
And we'll bring we'll bring different aspects. We'll start putting out some knowledge about how bourbon's made and the difference between bourbon, whiskey, and rye. But for the most part, this is just two guys having fun on a Saturday. Um, this is what we normally do, so we thought we'd share it with you guys.
Why not sit in front of the camera for a half hour and share something with you? And it still amazes me that it's like the same four ingredients taste so different. I like it. I know like it. Am I going to go to the grounds again? 100% because it's so beautiful, and I will try something until I like it. But it's just, I don't have any Maker's Mark on the shelf. We got to pretend we like each other.
No.
She wants the bottles closer together.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost like you move them.
Well, we did move them.
No, I know. But, once you drink them, it's...
So then we're, what was the Bernheim Forest?
Arboretum, Bernheim Forest, and Arboretum.
We went there just on a whim because it's like, okay, we can't just do whiskey and bourbon the whole time. Well, we could, but so we decided to walk the trails over there and just walk through the trees, and they have the tree giants. Look it up. There's
Very cool.
giants made out of whiskey barrels and pallets and stuff. It's a really fun walk, and you can learn some stuff about nature and just get a little bit away from the whiskey.
Again, it's beautiful in the fall. All different colors.
Go in the fall. Leaving there, I believe we were just driving down the road. And I'm like, oh, what's this?
That was after the cooperage.
After the cooperage? Oh, we went to the cooperage. And
I highly recommend if you go on your first trip, always go to the cooperage and see how the barrels are made. That is fascinating.
Yeah, Kentucky Cooperage is really fun to go to. And what was the barbecue afterwards? Big Papa's. When you're there and you're looking for something to eat, look up Big Papa's.
I don't know if you noticed the theme here, but there's always going to be food involved in these.
Food and whiskey. What else? What else? Why not have anything else? So at some point, we were driving down the road after one of these things, and we just saw this little limestone branch. I didn't even know what it was. So we're like, right turn, go in there. And that's when I found out I like ryes. We don't have it because I haven't been able to find minor case rye in, sorry, touch that. Minor case rye I say try that if it's your first time. But they also make the Yellowstone, so that's the next one. What's a little history on?
So with Limestone Branch, it was originally founded by one of the Beams when they first came over. Because the Beams, I believe, and our historian, keep me honest, they came over from Germany, and they were originally the Bemis family, and they changed it to the Beam family. But it seems like the Beam family has their hand in every distillery in Kentucky at some point or another.
Somehow.
But what's interesting about Limestone Branch is instead of using the normal, was it 53-gallon barrels, they age theirs in 15-gallon barrels so that they can compress the aging process and get their product out to market faster.
That's what they say, but they're not getting minor case to Las Vegas area. So whoever the distributor is, get on it. Because I haven't had any in like three years or more. But Yellowstone's another one of theirs. See, that one's more. Sorry, I'm blocking. More smoky to me. Got clear. Hold on, let me clear. Let me cleanse the palate. Wife's back there laughing at me.
I get corn. It's sweet, kind of like Maker's Mark. You can also it's also a little peppery. Not heavy on the pepper, but a little. It's really light. It's sweet. You get the corn up front. On the back, I get a little bit of honey and a little vanilla.
I agree on the honey and vanilla. The corn gives it the little bite, right?
The corn makes it sweet, but I think there's there's enough rye in it to give it a little bite up front. But as it sits, it mellows out, and you get the vanilla and the honey.
Yeah,
and that's just real. That's just a really good bourbon.
So we don't always agree, but sometimes we do. I gotta savor it.
Yeah, they didn't have this at the
Kara,
tasting.
are we back on?
Yeah.
All right. It's randomness.
Oh, hey, sorry. We had to pause. Green light's still on. We had to pause for a second because my daughter so rudely decided to come home.
Well, what else? Buffalo Trace, right?
Yeah.
This is something new since we've been there. But on the tour, we tried. Did we try Blandings?
We did.
Blandings.
Yeah, I don't have any of that either. I don't remember exactly what we tried. This is something new, so this will be the first time for me trying this.
Put it in the Buffalo Trace glass.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, I do. I have Buffalo Trace and I have some Weller products. They're not open at the moment, so we went with Benchmark because Benchmark's already open for Buffalo Trace. And Benchmark's just a younger aged Buffalo Trace spirit. So it's Buffalo Trace, but it's aged different, and they have a full proof of this product, and I think that's what this is, right? Full proof, single barrel. They also have a full proof, so they have a couple different variants of the Benchmark that they don't have for Buffalo Trace. Their flagship product. But that was a fun distillery tour too. Learn about the history.
Our guide was really funny. There were some people who had clearly been drinking before they went on the tour, and they were. What was the silly question? What's the one that everybody runs out?
Oh,
besides Blandings, there was something special that comes out and it sells out, and they goes, "When are you gonna get more?" He's like, "In a year." You can't speed it. It's 6 years. If you buy everything that was aged 6 years, that's it. You got to wait another year before this section of barrels becomes 6 years old. That's how this stuff works. And they just, I don't know how many times they said it during the tour. People just did not understand that you don't, it's every year. That's it. But afterwards, they had their bourbon cream, which is amazing, especially when you mix it with either their root beer or A&W root beer. Yeah, we're on our, I don't know, third bottle of that also. The only problem with that one is when you open it, you have to keep it in the refrigerator after you open it. Other than that, yeah, and enjoy responsibly.
I've never had it long enough to stay in the fridge. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Are you in jail?
No.
Good thing.
A good thing. Well, if I was in jail, you'd be right there with me.
Probably.
And we'd be calling Jen for Bellman.
No, we'd be spending time because we ain't got no money. Spending it all on bourbon and whiskey. I get a lot of orange citrus. And it's sharp, but not Maker's Mark sharp.
They get a little nuttiness.
Hazelnut. I can keep it in my mouth.
Maybe a little leather, like you know how leather smells. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Sometimes I can't put what I'm tasting or smelling into words, other than "ooh, it's good."
That is really smooth.
I will be purchasing some of that.
That is super smooth
from our local store, which that'll be coming into play soon too. We joined a whiskey club with them.
And I get the hazelnut on the back end. Up front, it's a little sweet. On the back end, it's kind of nutty. A little bit of leather, not a whole lot. Not a lot of spice to it. It's really smooth. It's a really good bourbon. This would be if I had to recommend a daily drinker, this would be a daily drinker, especially for the price point. I think it was only like $20.
Yeah, definitely. See, I can't put. Yeah, it's just good. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try some of that on ice.
And I know that there's other sites out there that'll sell you aroma kits to try to help you get all the different flavors out of the bourbon, but to me that's cheating.
Also, when you're in a tasting and they tell you all the aroma hits, you're like, either you're gonna get subliminal messages and all of a sudden go, "Oh yeah, I taste everybody." What? I get none of that. It's good though. Or Ray. I can't remember where there was a few others we went to in the last trip. It was like, oh nope, that's all you, Ray. And then he passed me his taster, like, nope, sorry.
But what's the other thing about Buffalo Trace at the gift shop? Like when you go, it'll be the first tour and buy what you want.
Yeah, so
Then.
Yeah, they sell out. So
yeah, so Buffalo Trace has 4 different products, if I remember right, that they put into rotation daily. Don't hold me to this because I'm going based off memory, and I've been drinking. They rotate Blanton's, Weller, Buffalo Trace, and there's another one I don't remember. I can't remember, but it depending on when you go on the tour, one of those will be in rotation, and they'll sell it in their gift shop, and they'll sell it for their suggested retail price, not the secondary market. So
yeah, we were there. It's a huge display, and we went on our tour, and the shelves were completely full, and there was boxes on the ground. And by the time we were finishing our tour, the tour guide's like, well, I had them bring some cases up of Blanton's because it's gone. So if you want some, grab it out of the box because there ain't any down in the gift shop. And it was gone in the hour and a half tour that we had. Just wiped out completely.
Yeah, it goes quick. Because people are only allowed to buy one bottle for 3 months. So when you buy that particular bottle, they take down your driver's license information. And if you come back, you can't buy another bottle of that for 3 months.
But there's different flavors and stuff. Oh, and they make their soda.
Oh yeah, they make their own soda.
What is it called? I remember.
Freddy's. So there's a gentleman that works there that does tours. His name's Freddie, and for the life of me, his last name eludes me. There's a a Netflix special called Neat, and it's about bourbon, and it actually goes over his history with the Buffalo Trace distillery, because he's like second or third generation, and so people line up to try to take his tours.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna search for it this evening when we get home. One of the last places we went was 1792, which is what is it? Barton. My memory is terrible. You opened that one.
So on the tour with the tasting, we tasted the small batch, the full proof, and the single barrel. They also have a few other products. They have a sweet wheat, which is what we have here, and a 12-year. This is my second bottle of sweet wheat. I do enjoy this one. It's hard to find though. I was able to find it at our local Total Wine a couple months ago, but it's difficult to find. We're opening this one for the first time since I bought it.
And I'll be trying it for the first time. The wheat.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah. So satisfying. Yesterday, working on the cars on the other channel, working on the car. I was like, satisfying click, click, putting the connectors back on the car. Satisfying pop. What sounds better than that? That's a smooth smell. No bright. Twirl it a little bit and see. Is that too much? Oh no.
Well, one thing I will say while we're getting this whiskey ready to drink is the best way to drink whiskey is the way you like it. If you want to put ice cubes in it, put ice cubes in it. You want to put a drop of water in it, put a drop of water in it. You want to drink it with Coke, there are some limitations with drinking it with Coke. If it's a $300 bottle of bourbon, I would cry if you mix it with Coke, but I'm not going to tell you not to mix it with Coke.
I will have my second drink with Coke, okay? I like some, and it's amazing how much it changes. And I use Coke Vanilla Zero. I guess I'm just a sweet guy. But it just, not that I have any $300 bottles yet, as the wife smirks. But yeah, some of them are just really good in the Coke. Other times you're like, I'll never do that again. Just a couple of ice cubes, and it's just amazing how it changes. You take your first sip, just when it's cold, and like sit for 5-10 minutes, and you're just like,
Yeah, the water or the ice cubes, they'll open the bourbon up, and they'll actually change the taste on the palate.
I'm drinking.
I prefer to drink my bourbon neat. There are some that I will put ice cubes in, and very few that I'll mix with Coke. But that's just me. I'm not going to talk down to anybody who does it. Again, if you put a $300 or $400 bottle of bourbon in Coke, I will cry. But I won't tell you no.
I'll have fun drinking with you regardless.
So what's the smell?
I know I'm contaminated with everything else now.
I forgot to do the smell. That's what happens when you hit your fifth bottle.
Of something you like. It is very light to me.
This one's almost got like a honeysuckle to it. I get honeysuckle. Yeah, I get a lot of honeysuckle.
Wild honeysuckle, not like out of a jar. Gross.
And that would be the cat.
Cat.
On the palate, it's a little warm, but the finish is honeysuckle. I get honeysuckle all day on this one.
I want to say cherry, but that's probably wrong.
I don't think there's anything wrong. That's
I'm
the
just
nice
saying
thing.
from
It
my
can't be wrong.
brain, past my tongue, back to my brain, and out into words. It's not.
That's the beautiful
I'm
thing.
not-
You can never be wrong. You taste what you taste. That's just the way it goes. All we're doing here is telling you what we taste on the tasting notes. You may go buy the bottle of sweet wheat tomorrow and go, what the heck were they talking about?
You may think it's terrible. I like it. This is only my second wheat one that I've liked. The other one is Frey Ranch. I don't. Any other one I've tried is like the malts. I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not a
except for Monkey Shoulder.
Because I'm not a Scotch fan. If I preferred Scotch more, I think the malts would be all right. But I'm just not a big Scotch guy.
We may have to limit our bottles because after 4, I'm like, I don't know. It's good. I don't. It's good. I'm gonna buy some. I'll try it again.
I don't know what it tastes like, but it tastes good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Hey, that's good. Well, buy me some of that.
It's not harsh. It doesn't make your eye twitch. You get just a nice soft hug.
Hey, I like what you like. I'm gonna buy me some.
And don't buy it because we say we like it, but now we're getting stupid too. So trying to tasting notes, and I just get cherry and cinnamon.
Hey, it's all good. One thing we want to do too, and maybe I probably should have talked to Matt before I say this, but being from Nevada, we kind of want to take you through there's 3 distilleries here in Nevada. There's one in Las Vegas, and from what I understand, they're supposed to be moving into their new distillery this year, and when they do, they'll open it up to tours. So we'll take you along to that one. But
you don't have to talk me into that. Don't twist my arm.
But we went to Frey Ranch. That was for being a free tasting and tour. That was one of the better ones we went on.
Well, you don't even like outside.
Now my cat is making noise. I apologize.
No
She's no longer center of attention, so she's trying to make herself that way.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up with that. Thanks for anybody who's watching. See you on the next one.